Best week ever. Welcome to the kickoff of the 2022 NFL season and the Superbook Sports Podcast. Ron Kruk on the road this week. I'm so excited to be here at the Superbook at the Westgate with my guys behind the counter, Jay Kornegay, John Murray, the best odds makers in the business. Guys, thanks for inviting me to your humble abode here.
Yeah, what do you think?
Not bad. I like what you did with the place. Pretty nice.
We change it all the time. Can you tell that?
Yeah.
That Mike Piazza picture is brand new.
I thought that was you. What? Oh, that's Beyonce. I thought there'd be more John Murray pictures up. I'm a little disappointed in that.
Mike Piazza as a Dodger. Just to clarify that.
Can you say that? I don't know.
Before he was traded to the Marlins.
Those were good times.
Big hurt.
Yeah.
Well, here we go, guys. College football got the spotlight last week. Now we look ahead to the kickoff of the NFL season. Before we look ahead, why don't we take a look back? And Jay, how did Superbook fare on the first weekend of college football, U.S. Open, and even the UFC?
Saturday is, it turned out to be okay once the smoke cleared, but Sunday was okay. Monday, we gave a little bit back on Clemson with that late, boring cover. It was something that we thought we were going to win for most of the game, and then they go down and cover.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people were complaining about, especially those that had the plus.
Of course. And UFC favorites keep coming in, John.
Yeah, UFC was rough. That was early in the day. The UFC was in Paris last Saturday, so we didn't do well in the morning on the UFC. We did very well on college football games in the morning and the afternoon, and then the late games, like Jay said, they pretty much all went against us. So we had to make some changes staffing-wise with the night guys, Ron. I mean, just very poor job. They couldn't get any of the underdogs home for us. Very, very disappointing work by the team in the evening.
Yeah, we have some openings.
I already put my application in. But you know what? Now we get to look ahead. And we get to talk about some NFL football. And for guys like me, loves football, loves wagering, like a beer here or two, this is like Christmas. I mean, we've been waiting forever. But you two have probably been prepping for this week since the Rams beat the Bengals back in the Super Bowl. For me, it's fascinating that Superbook put up every game almost 4 months ago. I mean, talk about that process, John.
Well, our guys, there's a team of guys doing that, Ron. It's several people. They made numbers on every single game. They made total on every single game. And then once you put them up, it's almost entirely sharp people betting into those numbers. Very, very little what you would call public play on those. So you let the sharper players move the numbers the way they see fit. You keep your limits lower on those. You don't want to take more than $1,000 or $2,000 on those because the market is not very settled. But it's a real challenge, and our risk team guys, I thought, did an excellent job. Got some good publicity out of it. Yep. They were right a few times. They were wrong a few times. We like to stress the times they were wrong, Jay and I do. Just remind them of all those times more so than the times they're right.
Real team effort here.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess.
I love it. Yeah, it's so cool. And we'll talk about some of those lines that moved from those 4 months ago with some movement of players, of course. But looking ahead at some futures, we touched on it a little bit last week, but there are some great futures to bet on at superbook.com, including who's going to win that Lombardi Trophy, back-to-back wins by the NFC. Current odds for the Super Bowl, the Bills' shortest odds to win, coming in at 6-1. Tampa Bay behind them. 4 teams behind the Bucs. You got the Rams, Chargers, Packers, Chiefs, Baltimore and San Francisco after that, and then Denver, Cincinnati, and Vegas. Kind of crazy, all 4 AFC West teams in the hunt. But Jay, any liability for the book on Super Bowl futures?
Oh, yeah. We got a few big numbers. Yeah, there's a few out there, which is always getting our attention. Maybe not in September, but once we get to December, believe me, we start peeking at this and explaining to our senior executives what's going on. Right. But, looking at these numbers are not just about Nevada. They're, it's a pool of all our jurisdictions. When you look at Tennessee, Colorado, Arizona, New Jersey, some of these make sense to me. We understand why we have some liability attached to the Buccaneers because of what took place, earlier this year when Brady decided to come back. We took some bets on them at 60-1, all the way down to 25-1, and what are they now? 7-1.
Right.
So we have some liability on the Buccaneers. We have some liability attached to the Steelers, and certainly a lot of liability attached to the Raiders here in Nevada. Those are our probably big three that we're not too concerned about, but if you look at the future book and the computer, those would be the biggest numbers. But there's some others out there. We got Titans. Last couple of years, the Titans have been coming up. Yeah, Tennessee is getting some love from some of the sharps. It's always been, or not always been, but the last couple of years, Tennessee's kind of been that sexy future pick by some of the sharps out there. And then you have the likes of Kansas City. Not San Diego.
I still call them San Diego
all the time. Well, coming from the AFC West, we say it a lot, right?
Yes,
so over the years, we do have an excuse for that. But the Chargers, Chiefs also have some red numbers attached to them. But overall, pretty solid action throughout our jurisdictions on Super Bowl futures.
Seems like the Chargers are always up there, too. People jump on them saying, with Herbert there and some of the offensive weapons they have with Eckler, they seem to be an interesting pick as well, but they seem to choke every year. But we'll get to that in a minute. John, let's talk about some MVP awards. Aaron Rodgers, two-time defending MVP champ. Can he go for 3 in a row? I'm looking at the odds right now, according to Superbook.com. And Rodgers not the favorite. It's Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes with the shortest odds at 7-1, followed by Herbert. And then Rodgers coming in at 12-1. John, break down that MVP race.
Could be some voter fatigue there. They don't want to necessarily give Rodgers a third consecutive MVP. I think Allen plays for the best team. I think he's got really good weapons around him in Buffalo. I think he's got an easier schedule than Mahomes and Herbert do. Mahomes and Herbert are playing in that very tough AFC West that you mentioned. That's going to potentially work against them. Although you could argue they're going to be in some really high-scoring games, as will Russell Wilson and David Carr. Could be some very high-scoring games in the AFC West. Could be good for those guys. The public's liking Trey Lance, first-year starting quarterback for the 49ers. He's all the way down to 20-1. Very popular at the window. And then the other guy they've been betting hard is Jonathan Taylor. And it's been a very long time since a running back won the MVP. I think you have to go back to Adrian Peterson.
Correct.
Maybe about 10 years ago. So it's
2012.
It's hard. And
God, you're good.
The league has changed a lot, even in 10. I know that seems recent. It's only 10 years ago. But the league has changed a lot in the last 10 years. It's got even more pass happy.
Very true.
I don't see anybody winning the MVP that's not a quarterback. I've said that about the Heisman Trophy, and I feel the same way about the MVP. It's just a pass-happy game now, stats-driven game. It's going to be one of those quarterbacks. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Rodgers, because I don't think he's going to miss Adams as much as people think.
Wow.
Interesting.
Rodgers.
Three-peat?
I'm thinking that over the last couple of years, the recent rule changes really have favored the passing game. And I think that's what they intended to do. So when you couldn't take these guys' heads off across the middle,
right.
You can't hit the quarterback anymore. Don't even touch him. So it's understandable why this is a pass-happy league now. I got to look at Lamar Jackson. Watch out for him. He's a free agent, right?
Contract year.
Yeah, this is a contract year for him. And from what I'm reading, he's very fired up and ready to go this year. I think he's going to be very aggressive. I don't think he was last year with his run game. But I think this year he's going to be all over the place, and he's at what 16-1?
16-1 right now.
Not too bad.
I wouldn't take, shocking that I would jump on a Bronco, but Kyler Murray at 18-1 odds is kind of intriguing to me as well. And then the first non-running back or quarterback that comes up is Cooper Kupp at 80-1.
Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP. But I don't know that he'll be able to put up the numbers to win NFL MVP. But he's always wide open. The one thing I'd keep an eye on there is there was some rumors about Matthew Stafford's arm during the preseason. But I guess if you're Cooper Kupp and you're wide open on every play, I guess it won't matter too much.
Well, yeah, I think
special player.
I think he's cured now. It was like a quick fix too, because one report was like last week said, "Oh, Stafford's in trouble." Yeah. This week he's he could throw it 175 times a game. I guess that Icy Hot really works, I guess.
It sure does. And this segment is brought to you by Icy Hot. Maybe you should have just taken an 11-day vacation. I don't know. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's been known to happen. I'm glad Rig finally got us some sponsors for the show.
Yeah,
Icy Hot. That's a pretty big. That's a big get.
After this,
pretty good work.
Talk about a guy on thin ice.
I have to keep looking at you guys. I mean, that's
nice work there, Rig.
Yeah, that's why he's the best producer in the business.
Very good.
Well, this is the time to get to superbook.com, sign up, make a deposit, download the app, and get in the game, or come down here at the beautiful Superbook at the Westgate. Sign up for the Super Contest. We will get to that as we're about ready to kick off the 2022 NFL season. Let's talk about some games, guys. It seems every week number one, there are some major upsets that come through. Last year, it was the New Orleans Saints just smacking Green Bay 38-3. The Bills, losing to Pittsburgh at home. That might have cost them home field advantage. That was a real tough loss for them. And then this is the stat that blew my mind. 10 home dogs in week number one. I mean, is that high for the beginning of a season?
I didn't even remember that, man. I did an interview this afternoon.
I silenced them.
I did an interview this afternoon where they were like, hey, well, 12 underdogs covered week one last season. Do you think that'll repeat itself this year? And I was like, I don't remember that at all. I'm sure that Jay and I looked really smart that week. I remember Pittsburgh beating Buffalo.
Yeah.
Because I remember the public was all over Buffalo. We had some VIP players that made like 6-figure level bets on the Bills. And I remember we did really well in that game.
Okay.
And I remember the Packer game because Rodgers, remember they were saying, Rodgers he's intentionally throwing the season because he's mad at the Packers for not giving him a contract.
Right.
That didn't turn out too well.
I never said that.
No.
Well, Jay didn't say that, but I remember people saying that. I don't remember any of the other games. I hope the dogs all cover.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
That'd be awesome for us.
All of them?
Maybe not all of them. Most of them.
Most.
Enough. How about enough of them?
Thank you. Sure.
Enough of them.
Well, there's still, a lot of home dogs. Let's start with the Thursday night game as the defending champion, the LA Rams, are actually underdogs to the team that many think could win the Super Bowl. Would be the first time ever, and the apocalypse could be upon us after that. But the Buffalo Bills come in as a minus 2.5 point favorite. The total 52. But this is one of those games, John, that we've seen some movement on the line since you guys opened it.
Yeah, probably had the wrong team favored to start that one. We opened the Rams favored, and the Rams really didn't have that high of a power rating last year. I know it's funny to say that because they won the Super Bowl, but they were only a 3.5, 4 point favorite against Arizona in the wild card game at home. They were a dog in the second round against Tampa. They were a small favorite against the Niners in the title game, which was at home. And then they were a 4.5 point favorite in the Super Bowl against the Bengals, which was in LA.
Yeah, right.
Buffalo was the team that had the high power rating all year, not the Rams. So that's why you see the favorite flip to the Bills. There'll be a lot of Bills Mafia at SoFi Stadium Thursday night. So I think you got the right team favored now. I don't know that necessarily means Buffalo's going to win the game, but I think they deserve to be favored.
Very good. Great insight. Again, that kicks off the NFL season on Thursday. Let's keep moving, fellas. A AFC West battle. John mentioned it. Seems like all the AFC teams in that division, the West, might just beat each other up. Heavyweight division. Key matchup with the Raiders. Traveling to the Chargers. The Chargers are 3.5 point favorites. The total on that game is 52. This is a Sunday game. Jay, a rematch from the last game of the season where the Chargers could have taken the tie and got to the playoffs. They decided to call that timeout, and they lose in overtime. Maybe a little revenge for them going into this game.
I think so. I think a lot of people are looking at that angle as this is a revenge game for the Chargers, but there's just so much optimism in every AFC West camp, including these two. And both of these look to contend for the division, contend for the title. So we opened this at 4, I believe, in May, way back in May. It's been going back and forth between 3 and 3.5. I think it's settled in at 3.5 now over the last couple of weeks. Some say we had some sharp money at 3 earlier this summer, but that seems so long ago. So right now, the public's favoring the Chargers mainly because of the revenge factor, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. I think that we're going to get some Raider money here probably in the next couple of days, and it wouldn't surprise me if this thing goes back to 3.
Got it. Okay. The Superbook going to be packed with the Black Hole. Is this the Black Hole 2 now?
Pretty much. Yeah. When they start playing well, and even before they announced that they were moving to Las Vegas, when the Raiders had that 1 year where Derek Carr was just going off, every game, the biggest bet game that we had in the Superbook was the Raider game. Mm-hmm. And again, that was way before that they announced that they were moving here. So it's Raider country out here, and there's no doubt about that. But when they start winning, you see a lot of silver and black, that's for sure.
I'm sure you do. I'll hide my Bronco stuff and
you and me both.
Corner back there, all right? Can I go back in the office? Will you give me a little seat back there?
Yeah, I got a safe room back there.
I might need that. All right. Keep on rolling. Another classic divisional matchup, the Packers at the Vikings Sunday game, John. We were talking about Aaron Rodgers going for a three-peat as the MVP. Current odds, according to Superbook.com, Packers -1.5 going into Minnesota. The over-under 46.5. Yeah. A lot of people, though, John, seem to be high on the Vikings as maybe a team that could sneak in.
Well, they are. The Vikings got rid of Mike Zimmer. They brought in an offensive-minded coach. Kevin O'Connell's the new head coach there. They've got a lot of weapons there. I don't really trust Kirk Cousins that much, but I definitely think there's a tricky spot for Green Bay. Their first game of the year, they lost Devontae Adams. They traded him to the Raiders. Rodgers is going to be breaking in these new receivers. I think they're going to be fine as the season goes on. But in the first game of the year, and they got to go on the road against Minnesota, it's a really tricky spot. I would expect the Vikings to be a very popular teaser play. People are going to tease the Vikings up, and I think we'll end up needing the Vikings, but I do think there will be a lot of support for the Vikings as well. Green Bay is always a public team. We always need their opponent just about.
Yeah, right.
I think that's going to be the case, but I do think there will be some sharp support for Minnesota.
That's like the Steelers, right?
Steelers. Dallas is usually one. For obviously for the longest time, New England was probably the poster child of that.
Yeah. Chiefs over the last couple of years.
Chiefs now, for sure.
Now the Bills are right up there.
And speaking of Dallas, let's move on to that Sunday night game as for the second straight year, Dallas opening up against Brady and the Bucs, and that has not been a good thing for them. Brady 6-0 against Dallas. It's probably why he decided to take that hiatus from camp. He knew he saw they were playing the Cowboys. Didn't need that, so he comes rolling in. The Bucs, another favorite on the road. Current odds from Superbook.com, the Buccaneers -2.5. The over-under is 43.5 going to Dallas. What do you think about this one, Jay? Break this one down for us.
Well, I'm looking at the opening number, and it was the Bucs -1.5, and it actually, the total is actually up there, 51.5, maybe 52. So it's right up there, yes, and the line actually was fluctuating between 1.5 and 2.5 all summer as both teams were having O-line issues, especially the Bucs. And we got up to 2.5, then it brought it back down with the news that they had some of the troubles that they had on the offensive line. And then the next thing you know, Dallas has offensive line problems, and it kind of goes right back up. So the current number is 2.5. It's going to be very interesting to see how the public, bet this game, because it is a Sunday night game. They love Tom Brady, they love the Buccaneers, but the Cowboys are one of those teams, as John said, that gets a lot of support. So I think it's going to be pretty even by the time we get to kickoff here.
Okay, that is the late game on Sunday, and then we wrap things up with a huge game in Seattle, Monday Night Football. This was a line that I know personally, I've seen it move up as Denver travels to Seattle. Another revenge game as Russell Wilson returns to Seattle after 10 years up there with the Seahawks. This one, I believe Denver opened up at -4. Current odds from Superbook.com is Denver minus 6.5, and the total sitting at 44.5. John, did I get that right? I know there's been some movement in this game.
Yeah, we probably opened that game too short. Denver opened up 3.5, 4-point favorite in that game. Now they're 6.5, might even go higher. If all the favorites are covering on Sunday, all the parlays are going to close with the Broncos. Seattle's quarterback situation is a mess. Doesn't matter if it's Geno Smith or Drew Lock. They're a mess at quarterback. And obviously the public is going to be all over Russell Wilson in a revenge spot there. It's really a very interesting Monday night game, which we don't get enough of during the season, really.
Yeah.
This one should be very good.
We're blaming somebody for that line, by the way. There was reports in our back room when we were making this line back in May. That some of us said it was going to go to 6.
And I'm blaming Rig for not having Jay lead the Bronco Seahawk discussion. Jay's a Bronco fan. I mean, as good as the Icy Hot thing was, this was a disaster by Rig.
Are you looking at my
So
notes?
he's 50-50.
I told you he was on thin ice.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, this line, did we open 3 or 3.5?
I thought it was 3.5. Okay. I remember I was so red with rage at how short we opened that one.
It was.
And I was so busy yelling at one of our coworkers. I don't remember.
But the thing is, this thing is moved.
So mad.
Uncontrollable rage.
I was just so mad about it.
He gets a little hot.
How do you do?
But
it was a struggle that day.
It went to 3.5. I mean, opened 3.5 all the way up to 6.5 right now. And this has happened really before the public has actually got to this game. They haven't even bet it yet. This is all, educated play through the market. The market has moved 3 points on this game. So, now I'm getting enraged.
Well, you're going to get
calm down. Jeez.
Well, you're going to get some sharp guys. Sharper guys are laying that number. Not because they necessarily like the side, but because they know it's going to go up.
Interesting.
And then they'll be able to play out of their initial position. It doesn't necessarily mean they like Denver minus 4.5. Okay. They just know they're going to be able to get a middle for themselves.
Do you think we'll see Drew Lock in this game?
I hope so.
I doubt it. Well, I doubt it. I'm going to go with no. Take the no on that one.
Geno Smith, a fellow Mountaineer. West Virginia University, but I don't know that he should be starting on Monday Night Football.
No, it just moved to 7 now.
Why is the line? You can see it back there. It just keeps ticking.
Jay's pressing the bat phone here, changing the numbers.
We've seen, we're talking about a lot of line movement here. Talk about any big tickets that have been coming in besides, the $25 I put on the Broncos last night.
Well, we had a guy, most of the bigger bets are going to come in this weekend, but there have been some really big future bets, like $25,000 on the Bucs to win the NFC. We took that recently. $25,000 on the Bills over 12 wins.
Over 12?
Which we took earlier today, which I thought was interesting. That doesn't give much margin for error for them to go 13-4. Certainly they're capable of it, but that division, well, obviously not nearly as tough as the AFC West or even the AFC North. They do look like there's some improved teams in there. So we'll see if Buffalo can get to 13 wins. We'll get the really big bets this weekend, Ron. The VIP customers that we know are coming in. They're landing today, tomorrow. They're going to be here this weekend. It's very exciting to get back to booking the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. And what's also very exciting is the Super Contest registration is underway. What a segue that was. I mean, this is, guys, the ultimate. Thank you.
Very professional.
First time on the job. Wow.
That's why you got to give it to the pros. That's why we're bringing the pros to host him. Nice job.
Thanks, Rig.
Thank you, Rig. Where'd we be? Poor Jeremiah. Jeez. A nice audio board over there. Jay, give us the details. Come on, it's time you still got some time to get into the Super Contest, right?
Yep, Super Contest. Registration ends Saturday at 3 p.m.
Oh, so yes,
right now, you have to come into Las Vegas to register, and then you can play from home the rest of the season, right? So you do have to show up in person to register with a proxy if you live out of state, and then you'll be able to play in the Super Contest all year. But this year we have 11 in-season contests, which has been a big hit over the last few years. And this year is no different. There's a lot of discussion about that as we have all these chances to win money. You have 12 chances to win in this year's Super Contest. But the key is we only got a couple more days left. Get in here and register. And there's a lot of cash that's going to be thrown around, especially during this season. As we have 6 3-week contests, we have 3 6-week contests and 2 9-week contests, along with an overall champion. So
nice.
A lot of discussion. Of course, we have the gold, which is a $5,000 entry fee. A big chunk of change there, and I think we'll probably be right around 100 contestants there, which is about normal. But that's a winner-take-all format, same format. Awesome. You pick 5 games against the spread, just like the Super Contest. Each and every week, you get a point for a win, half a point for a tie. Whoever gets the most is the champion.
It was cool last night. There were a lot of people in line. We're talking a Tuesday and 9 o'clock. People still looking to get into the Super Contest. Very well done. Speaking of pros, man, you killed it. Anything to add on there, Murray?
To the Super Contest discussion? No, I think Jay covered it pretty well. I don't have.
That's why we brought the.
The whole time he was talking, I was thinking about what contests I'm going to be in. My mind was racing about all the money I'm going to lose in the various contests around this beautiful city. So I kind of blacked out.
Fantastic. We're going to have a camera following him around, so that's going to be fantastic to see as the year goes on. All right, if you're not here in Vegas, get to superbook.com. Before kickoff, download the app, get in the game. Superbook is offering some great sign-up bonuses and odds boosts, and make sure you're following us on all social media platforms at Superbook Sports. All right, let's turn the spotlight back to some college games before we say goodbye. College football in full swing. I mean, last week, what a stacked Saturday, or all weekend, 5 days in a row. Not as impressive of a schedule going into this week. I want to say week 3, but it's really week 2 because of week 0, and forget it. It's going in way too deep. But let's talk about maybe one of the bigger games of the of Saturday, as Alabama is traveling to Texas. Huge opportunity for Texas to kind of get back up into where they need to be as number 1 Alabama comes in. Current odds from Superbook.com. Alabama -20, guys. The over-under 65.5, John, as they travel down to Texas for a high noon shootout.
Big test for Quinn Ewers, the new Texas quarterback. He transferred from Ohio State. He's going to have his hands full. This Alabama team, they have almost everybody back from a team that was less than a quarter away from winning another national championship last year. They're absolutely loaded on both sides of the ball. The public is going to be all over Alabama. We'll definitely need Texas. They're going to bet Alabama first half. They're going to bet Alabama for the game. They're going to throw Alabama into every money line parlay you can see this weekend, along with Chimaev and the UFC and all the big NFL favorites on Sunday. So we'll need Texas. I don't know if that's a good thing for us, Jay. I don't really want to be against Alabama.
You're just rolling them all off, and I was like, oh, here it comes.
It's going to be like just the money line liability will go into that last column on Alabama. Yeah. And when they're up 21-0 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, it'll be time to reach for the remote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you have guys like me who picked Utah State plus 42 last week. Yeah. How about that one?
Solid number.
I will not do that ever again. Really bad pick.
Never going to do it again.
Never.
You mean bet Utah State against Alabama?
Yeah.
Okay.
When they, it's going to be a
Good
big
idea.
rivalry as they all, moving around conferences. Who knows? Well, speaking of big lines, how about Hawaii traveling to Michigan?
Oh, boy.
All right, here we go. Get the calculators out. Michigan right now is a 51.5 point favorite. Seriously. The over-under sitting at 67.5. Can Hawaii cover the 51.5?
I've seen bigger. So, telling you. It's
very inappropriate.
What?
Very inappropriate.
No,
this is a family show, Jay.
Oklahoma back in the day was like 60-something, 63, 64. It seemed like week in, week out. They were just these
another shot at Rig.
Yep.
Rig is really just taking it.
Yeah, he's ready to shut us down.
You guys won the national championship in college basketball, Rig.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yes, everybody remembers.
No one feels bad for you.
So anyway, they can name the score here. I mean, if you want some style points, this is, Michigan's chance to do that. And when I say style points, I mean winning by 60-something. And you look at the total, what is it, 67? So Hawaii is looking to score a couple of points, but I I doubt if they're going to score more than 7. Yeah. I mean, my Rams down there, I know they only scored 7. But I'm looking at, it's kind of a joke of a game, to tell you the truth. And
do you get a lot of play on those type of games when there's such a massive? I mean, Alabama, of course, like you said, but like just Michigan top 10. That type of team, do you get a lot of play with those large lines?
No, those type of lines really deter a lot of people. I mean, they don't want to really lay those type of points. They certainly are not going to take Hawaii, getting all those points. So it's going to probably be a low volume game, but people will be keeping an eye on it because of the story behind it. It's a 51.5 point spread. Yeah. Seeing a team cover that is kind of interesting.
Just get a field goal. People start chanting that. That's a lot of excitement too. One more game before we wrap up. This one's interesting. Number 9 Baylor taking on number 21 BYU. Mm-hmm. Saturday night, John. Future Big 12 rivalry here as they go at it, and maybe a revenge game too. BYU lost to Baylor last year.
BYU's pretty good this year. BYU's a team to really keep an eye on this season. They actually come to Las Vegas on October 8th. They play Notre Dame at Allegiant Stadium. That should be one of the bigger games of the year.
Nice.
As far as this game goes, Baylor is the defending Big 12 champ. They do come into this game small dog. This looks like maybe the most competitive big game of the day Saturday. I don't want to highlight Iowa State because Iowa can't actually score touchdowns.
Oh my gosh.
So I think in terms of the better matchups this weekend, I think this is the best one on the board. I think this one, Tennessee, Pittsburgh looks good. Florida, Kentucky's got some good talking points, but it's actually the best game of the day. To your earlier point, not as good of a college slate as it was last weekend.
Yeah.
Well, last weekend we had some really marquee games, although those games had really big point spreads as well. But there were some much better games last Saturday than this Saturday. This week's all about the NFL.
Is that Tennessee game in Pittsburgh?
I believe it's
at Pittsburgh?
Field,
okay. I think that's going to be an interesting game.
Pitt, very lucky to beat West Virginia on Thursday.
Oh, my gosh. That was
felt
a crazy game.
Possible cheating involved.
How about Florida State and LSU? What? Was there cheating in that one, too? Why don't you just kneel the ball down and kick a field goal?
That was a crazy game, too.
Let's pitch it.
I like how they reviewed the play for like 20 minutes, and then it turned out that the clock stopped anyway because the guy got a first down, and it didn't even matter if he was out of bounds or not.
Yeah.
That was terrific. That was a real preview of what we're going to see from the NFL officials here over the next few days. I look forward to it.
Fantastic. Well, we are ready for week number 1 of the NFL season. Another stat in 17 of the last 19 NFL seasons. One team that has finished dead last in the division has come back and won it the following year. So worst to first, you got Panthers, Jets, Giants, Broncos, Lions, and Ravens. You're saying there's a chance.
Oh, for the Ravens, there's definitely a chance. I mean, the Ravens are the best team.
Some good teams right there.
Baltimore's the best team.
Denver could pull it off.
Watch out for the Lions.
Ravens.
Broncos could win.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, Denver could. But I think Baltimore's the best. I think Baltimore might be the third best team in the AFC. I'd put them right up there with Buffalo and Kansas City. They just need to stay healthy.
Yeah, they got to get that running game.
They're always banged up.
They're still banged up in the backfield.
Yeah. Well, this is the time. We are set to go, and kickoff is here. Make sure you are following us on all social media platforms at Superbook Sports. And if you are here, the beautiful Superbook at the Westgate, come on down, check out some games, or if you're in Colorado, head up to the Hills and the Lodge Casino all weekend long. College football and NFL games. All right, guys, final thoughts before we pull the plug.
I'm just looking forward to the week 1. It's always exciting. I mean, the crowd is electric. Everybody, I tell everybody, everybody's in first place, heading into this, so even the Browns and Jets and Giants fans are, excited coming into this weekend.
I thought you meant everybody was in first place in their respective contests. I haven't lost a single contest play at all this season.
Winner.
So that's really a good feeling as we head into Sunday.
You are on fire, sir. Keep it going. I hope that streak continues. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week. Make sure you are following us on all social media platforms at Superbook Sports. For our VP of Marketing, Kristen Mackey, our producers who got more airtime than all of us, Mike Rigg and Jeremiah Crow, social media manager, John Hogland, and the hardest working crew in the business, my partners here in the desert, Jay Kornegay and John Murray. I'm Ron Kruk. Thank you for listening and watching. Enjoy the games, everyone.